Hi, I read some statistics today about business ownership. I read some statistics today, and the statistic was saying that for businesses, 20% of businesses fail in the first year, and the remaining businesses, 50% of those businesses fail over the next 5 years. Those are staggering statistics. So there is a lot of appeal and desire for people to start their businesses. They have business ideas, they have plans, they have grand ideas. And these statistics are really staggering. They're frightening because what it means is that of all the businesses that start over the next 5 years, 70% of them will fail. And so the question is, why are they failing? Why are these businesses failing? Because they're businesses that we need as a society. They are providing services and products in the community that we all need, yet they're failing. So I want to introduce you to the idea that the number one reason businesses fail is a lack of revenue. Businesses fail because they do not produce enough money to operate, even break even, cover their expenses, their operating costs, and remain in business. A lot of times people don't realize that the number one reason businesses fail is because of lack of revenue. The business does not have enough money coming in to support their operating costs. And I'll give you an example of something that I have experienced recently in my own personal life. So, my daughter goes to daycare. My daughter is 6 years old, and she goes to a daycare that I love. My husband also loves. We enjoy that daycare. We feel very safe sending her to that daycare. We like that daycare. We like the people who operate it, and we don't want to change anything. That daycare is literally a 2-minute walk from our office to get to my daughter's daycare. It's extremely convenient. Recently, I went to pick my daughter up from daycare and I overheard the owner telling another parent, and the owner was celebrating, almost bragging the fact that they have not increased their rates for the last 10 years. They have not increased their rates. And unless they were like overcharging people like massively 10 years ago, there is no reason that daycare should not be increasing their rates. They should be increasing their rates. As patrons to businesses, we should want these businesses to increase their rates. Because one of the things I do not want is for this business to go out of business because of a lack of income revenue. If you have not increased your rates for the last 10 years, how are you making it? You're still doing the same things, your bills are the same. If anything, her bills are probably more because with inflation, everything is going up. So it's natural that as a business owner, she should be increasing her rates. That is an expectation. If you have a business in your life that you are buying goods and services from, and those goods and services make a difference for the better in your life, you should expect and you should want that business to increase their rates. That business needs to function so that you can go off and do the things that you need to do. I, for a fact, do not want this business to go out of business. This business is very convenient for my way of life. My daughter is literally 2 minutes away from our business where I can walk over, I can visit her at lunchtime, we can talk, I can have lunch with her, I can take her back really quickly. So the fact that they're bragging that it has not been increased for 10 years, it's really not a good thing. But what they're doing to compensate for that is to offer products that actually um, parents probably don't need. So, what I've realized is that they push for the child to do additional things. Well, if you let her sign up for this or for that or whatever else, which actually is inconvenient for us because I don't want to bring her there on the weekend. I don't want her to spend extra hours there. I just want you to charge me, increase your rate every year, and charge me what you are worth at a normal hour. That should be a normal thing for businesses to do. Instead, businesses are actually ashamed to increase their rates. When they increase their rates, their customers will ask, well, why are you increasing your rates? Well, a business should explain that I have to increase my rates in order for revenue to stay constant in the business. I think that business owners should start to feel comfortable with explaining that scenario to their customers. You should feel comfortable to say, I must increase my rates. I need to give my staff an increase. Other things are being increased for my business. The operating cost for my business has increased, and therefore, in order for me to stay in business and provide this service to you, I must increase my rates. That should be a normal conversation to have. And it should be understood. Instead, sometimes customers feel like the business is just trying to get more. That's not the case. The business needs that revenue generation to stay in business. Because if the business does not do that, they will become one of the 70% of businesses that fail. 70% of businesses fail for the number one reason, which is there is a lack of money coming into the business. So if you are a patron for a business, you should ensure that they stay in business so that they can support your way of life because you're accustomed to going to that restaurant. It's convenient. Taking your child to that daycare, it's convenient. Going to that car wash, it's very convenient. It's very close to your home. It's very close to your job. All these conveniences that businesses offer to make everyone's lives better, we have to pay for it. And it should be an expectation that they will increase their rates so that they can continue to stay in business, so that they will not become a statistic and go out of business like the other 70% of businesses because of a lack of revenue. This is a real conversation that needs to be understood for all involved. Businesses need to know that they must increase their rates to stay in business. And clients, patrons, customers, you must understand to receive that benefit and that service and that product from that business, you have to pay a higher rate to receive that convenience. So, this is a conversation that must be had. It doesn't need to be difficult, it doesn't need to be awkward. It's a normal conversation that must take place. Businesses must increase their rates to stay in business. It's literally a matter of survival.